From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
With so many people moving into southwest Montana lately, you might expect some moving scams to pop up, and you wouldn't be wrong about that. Coming up, Holly Brantley explains how the latest one is working and what you need to watch out for.
I'm Joe St. George in Texas. The Supreme Court hearing a major abortion rights case today, the first of several on the docket for the justices. We'll show you the impact it could have in your state coming up.
For over 5 years, an MSU professor, with the help of her husband, researched, wrote, rewrote, and edited, finally binding together Shakespeare in Montana.
6:31 on this first day of November. Chet Lehman, Matt Ello with you here. Twinkly lights of downtown Butte there, or uptown Butte, I should say.
That's
Montana.
right.
Beautiful morning.
It was beautiful, a nice weekend. Lots of trick-or-treaters. It was a little chilly.
Not bad, though.
Not bad. Race for Your Life in Bozeman. They had a 5K. Right. Good turnout to that.
That's fantastic.
Not that I raced for my life. I was a very
valiant supporter.
I was. Yeah,
good for you.
Temperatures this morning into the 20s for most of us. Teens out toward White Sulphur Springs, some cooler air not far away, but I don't think it actually reaches southwest Montana as a whole. In fact, we'll start to see the temperatures warm up as we go toward the afternoon into the 40s. Now, as we go over the next couple of days, temperatures are warming up, but you'll still want to keep the coats pretty close, especially with these early morning temperatures being so frigid. Right now, low to mid 40s for the Bozeman area. Butte right in that same neighborhood, mid 40s for daytime highs today. We'll talk about how long you'll need those coats, whether you need the rain jackets as well. That's all coming up here in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Matt. 6:32. We know lots of people moving into southwest Montana. Police say thieves are finding new ways to take advantage of that. MTN's Holly Brantley with a sneaky scam Bozeman detectives want you to be on the lookout for.
It's a game of emotions and manipulation. It involves moving trucks and everything you own. I talked to local police about cases authorities are working to prosecute and which you need to watch out for.
Gallatin County, lots of people moving in, lots of money changing hands in the process. Lots of opportunity for crooks to take advantage of you.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess.
Detective Quinn Ellingson with the Bozeman PD says the latest moving scam starts when people looking to move go online looking for a moving company to get them from one home to another. The person looking to relocate plugs in some information and gets a quote.
That online quote ends up being a really good price compared to some of the stuff they've seen, and they go ahead and make an agreement to have a contract with these people. Once that contract's signed, those online moving companies or clearing houses will go ahead and they'll subcontract that move out to somebody else. And they have a whole list of people that they work with. And those people are not always legitimate movers.
Then that person gets a phone call and the plans for pickup and delivery start to roll out.
Oftentimes what we find is they will be late, they won't be on time, their communication will be scattered as to why they're not going to be there. And they will have some story that will, I guess, get somebody to feel sorry for them and kind of give them some slack as to why they're late to pick up the stuff. Especially with COVID, there's been a lot of excuses. Montana's far away. I got stuck in a snowstorm.
And it just gets deeper. Detective Ellingson says usually the excuses are bogus.
One of the big keys for us is that these people are showing up and they don't have legitimate business trucks. They are using what we've seen as U-Hauls or Penske trucks, and oftentimes we've seen that those Penske trucks are stolen.
And he says it doesn't end there. If the movers do show up, they often do not have enough men to load or deliver.
We've seen instances where the victims of these scams have actually helped load all of their stuff into a stolen truck.
In the end, the quoted price does not hold. Too much stuff, too many stairs, not enough space. The price goes up. The victim starts to feel like they better pay or they're going to lose their belongings.
They're able to do it just because of the sheer volume of people moving. And they present themselves in a way that's professional enough.
So what's happening and what can you do? We went to the Better Business Bureau for some insight.
There are some very unethical practices in the industry.
Roseanne Freitas says often people don't realize they are working with a moving broker. They act as a third-party liaison. Not all of them are scammers, but it can be confusing.
A lot of people don't realize they're hiring a moving broker. They're assuming they're hiring the company. And the challenge comes in, the moving broker isn't the moving company. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you owe your money to the moving company.
She says the deposit is often just for the bid, and then the assessment of how much stuff you have isn't taken accurately. So in the end, the consumer is told more money is due.
Many consumers balk at that and say, no, I don't think so. And as soon as you do that, they shut the door and they take the moving company and they leave. And they will hold your items hostage until you pay the fee.
Now, local police say you really need to do your homework, make calls, check reviews, and work with a local company when you can. We have a lot more tips from police and the Better Business Bureau on our website. In Bozeman, Holly Brantley, MTN News.
6:36 now on the national scene. Happening today, U.S. Supreme Court will hear a challenge to an abortion law out of Texas. Could have big implications in our state. Our Joe St. George explains how today's hearing is really just the beginning of several abortion-related cases the Supreme Court will rule on in the coming months.
This is a woman's health clinic in the Rio Grande Valley of Texas. A sign on the building reads, "Abortion is legal. Our clinic is open." But there are mounting questions nationwide about the legality of abortion going forward, not just in Texas, but around the country. As a reminder, there are two major legal challenges involving abortion in front of the United States Supreme Court. Today, the Supreme Court is hearing a challenge to a new Texas abortion law. On December 1st, the court will hear a challenge to a new Mississippi law. Texas's new law bans abortions after 6 weeks, with only members of the public having the right to sue violators. Mississippi's law bans abortion after 15 weeks, with the government enforcing violations. Both laws challenge the long-standing Supreme Court principle that states can only restrict abortions after the point of viability, which happens around 24 weeks of pregnancy. The big question perplexing the country is the Supreme Court about to set a new abortion standard in the United States. Starting with today's hearing, because it's all a bit confusing, Paul Schiff-Berman, a law professor at George Washington University, helps us understand.
This case is being taken right now essentially on an emergency basis.
Professor Berman says today's Texas case hearing is mainly a procedural one. Texas officials have argued they can't be sued by the Justice Department over this because they aren't stopping abortions. Regular members of the public are. Justices will decide if legal challenges can continue.
It's not clear who can be sued about this law. So if you want to challenge this law, who are you bringing suit against? Which in turn is a different question from whether Roe versus Wade gets overturned.
Professor Berman emphasizes in all likelihood the country will be waiting months to see if the High Court, with its new conservative majority, actually changes what abortion restrictions can be passed in the United States by state legislatures. In McAllen, Texas, I'm Joe St. George.
Back here at home now at 6:38, a local author and professor at Montana State University has won a High Plains Book Award. Today's Jane McDonald attends one of her lectures to learn more about her passion for Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare's work has stood the test of time, making him a true treasure in literature. And one MSU professor brings him to the Treasure State.
It makes sense. The play completely sneaks up on you because you're at the
So I got a phone call and I missed it from the Montana Book Award Committee. Left a message and said, "You've won this award." And I knew the publisher had submitted the book for it, but I didn't think I would win it. That was just beyond my wildest imagination.
Dr. Gretchen Minton's book, Shakespeare in Montana, Big Sky Country's Love Affair with the World's Most Famous Writer, is a labor of love that lasted for 5 years. She shares it with her students and the world as an award-winning author.
No, it's just been an incredible honor and an incredible surprise how much attention the book has gotten.
Arguably, her biggest supporter is her student, Sophia.
He's just like such an amazing, valuable part of my education, and she's like the one who kept me coming to school and kept me in Bozeman. Honestly, I probably would have transferred out, but she's been worth it to stay for.
One of Dr. Minton's favorite parts of her job is to conduct research, bring it to her class, and have them ask questions and continue that cycle of learning.
Yes, it's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why Shakespeare? He gave us so many opportunities for reading and thinking, perhaps best of all because his plays tend to ask questions rather than present answers.
But there's no question that Dr. Minton is working on another book, now this time surrounding theater. In Bozeman, Jane McDonald, MTN News.
Very cool. Congratulations to her. 6:40, we're going to take a quick break.